Oh, it's going to keep happening.
I know. Funny part is I didn't even think about it.
No, me either. Me either. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show with Mike. T is here. What up, T?
Hi, pal.
How are you?
I'm all right, I suppose.
Yeah?
It's a hump day.
Yeah, hump day.
Yeah.
I'm in a, I just feel awful. I mentioned to you before, but might as well tell the audience. I was trying to trim dreadlocks off the cat today.
Yeah, Mr. Fat Pants.
Fat Pants, big boy. And he starts screaming. And I'm like, relax, dude. I'm just trying to cut he's got really long hair. And I fucking caught his skin and took a chunk of him out. And I feel just awful.
Does that count as a scalping?
Yes.
Oh,
it
boy.
looks like a fucking scalping.
Ooh.
Like, it's... You can't do that.
You did it, not me.
Yeah. No. That part that you just did. It's fucking bad, though, man. I'm trying to put peroxide on it, and he's got to be in so much pain.
Oh,
I feel
yeah,
so bad. It's just, I feel like such an asshole. I would never hurt Big Boy.
Well, accidents happen.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Didn't catch an artery or anything. I don't think he's going to bleed out.
No, I hope not. It doesn't look good, though.
No. He's probably going to give you the fucking side eye.
Yeah, he was really upset. So I've been giving him extra treats, and I took his food and water up there for him.
All right.
And then Bogey and Cece are fucking with him through the door. And I'm like, all right, leave him be. Okay?
Yeah.
He's very, very injured.
Maybe he was fucking with them from under the door.
Yeah, I doubt it. He's limping
He's at the
around.
door.
Yeah.
He was looking for it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Oh, I just feel terrible, though. It's just awful. I hope he's going to be all right. Anyway,
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Before we get to the news of the day, I did want to mention, once again, radiofor1.com. Brand new merch in the store, including the people that were looking for hats, beanies, women's sweatshirts, men's sweatshirts, different colors. It's all there. Radiofor1.com. Just scroll down, click the merch link. And I wanted to make sure everyone's aware of this. I mentioned it yesterday, and we'll mention it going forward as well. But if you place your order by this Friday, which I believe is the 9th.
December the 9th.
Yeah.
2 days.
Yeah. It's Wednesday at the time of this recording. Friday is the deadline for them to guarantee that it'll arrive by Christmas.
Now, it doesn't mean if you did it after that it won't. It's just
Right.
they can't guarantee it.
Exactly.
So
for that fan on your list, it's great. The new merch looks awesome. The hats look cool. The beanies, we don't even have them yet.
Not yet.
It's just like put this shit together and get it out there. And so I'm glad it's up now. It's working. So feel free to place your orders and do them soon. Reasonably priced everything. And we're very excited about it. And I can't wait for people to get their hands on it and show it off and all that kind of stuff.
hell yeah.
Also, we've got the Amazon link there, Amazon Canada. Click on it. Shop as normal. Won't charge you any extra. It just gives us a little bit of a kickback. MyPillow, of course, use promo code TDC and get great discounts there. Groupon, and most importantly, a link to our Patreon page. Join your fellow monsters in becoming a Patreon member. We are putting new content in there quite frequently. And, wanted to mention all that good stuff.
Exclusive content.
Exclusive, yeah. Bonus episodes, news we didn't get to is always fun. We just dropped another one yesterday in there. So,
And another one.
And more to come. Many, many more to come.
Sweet.
Let's get to what's going on in the world today, T.
Okay.
Our boy, big fans. We were big fans of the punt god.
Oh, Big Matt. Ariza. Yeah. Yep.
It's Matt Ariza, right?
Ariza, I think is how they say it.
Is that how they say
I
it?
think so.
And this dude, I mean, he punts the ball
'Cause there
80
was-
yards. It's spectacular.
I get confused. There was Trevor Ariza, who's in the NBA.
Okay.
And I think he's Ariza.
Okay. Well, whatever. We all know who it is. He was drafted by the Bills. I don't even know what round, but it's kind of a tip-off to us that he was the third punter taken off the board, which was like, wait a minute. They've been profiling this guy every week on ESPN like he's the second coming of Ray Guy.
Yeah, and he was their place kicker too.
Right.
Which he's not going to be your kicker necessarily because it's such a specialty thing, but that's a nice option to have.
Yeah.
On your squad is a guy that can be your backup kicker
and can boom them.
Yeah.
Not that he'd be as accurate as a lot of the guys in the NFL, but you're absolutely right. To have a guy that's money from 40 yards.
Yeah.
If your guy, gets banged up, and which happens, these guys pull hammies, they roll ankles, they get hit, and when they get hit, they're almost always done.
Oh, yeah.
They're just not built for getting smacked by an actual NFL player. So, yeah, everything about him. And, he wouldn't punt much for the Bills where he was drafted. They hardly punt at all. But still.
Like our Lions last week, not a single punt.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Gotta love it. We didn't know at the time. He was accused of rape and gang rape. It sounded like a horrible allegation.
Yeah.
At the time, and the Bills just cut ties with him, and we were
drafted him, paid him a signing bonus. That was before this came out. Now, apparently,
they knew his side of the story.
Exactly. And then it came out but no charges were ever pressed at the time. Yeah, this wasn't like after the fact. She went to the police at the time, made the report, did all that. It was investigated. Now you can question whether or not it was good old college town, PD, and they had their star punter, and they swept it under the rug or not. But I would like to think in this day and age, that stuff's not really going to fly.
Right.
There's too much oversight.
And, what we didn't know was, and what seemed kind of unfair, people will say, well, it's not a right to play in the NFL, it's a privilege, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, there is the assumption of innocence until proven guilty in this country.
Supposed to be.
And you hate to see someone's career get just tossed before it gets started, not in defense of rapists or anything, but, there's a couple sides to every story, and we don't know, and you don't know what really went on. Well, now...
I wish they could do something like... You always see, police officers is a good example of that, where they're placed on administrative leave with or without pay, depending on what the situation is. A lot of times it's with pay. It's like, all right, take a knee, sit on the sidelines for this one while we figure this out. You're not fired. You're not, you're still getting paid.
Yeah.
But you'd think that they would have some sort of a roster spot, almost like an IR, something, you know what I mean, or a pup list or something,
in legal trouble.
Well, something like that, to where you don't have to cut them. They can still, and maybe there is something like that, but I've never heard of anybody being on something like that.
Yeah, like on desk, duty.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, they have the like I said, the IR, the physically unable to perform list. They have all these little designations for players where they're not going to be there, but they're still on the team.
Yeah. Non-football related injury.
Right.
Stuff like that.
I would like to see that used more because of your presumption of innocence of what it's supposed to be. So many times these things come out, and then there's a knee-jerk reaction to react to it.
Yeah.
And then that's fine. So if it can be retroactive. If it turns out you were right and they were guilty, then no harm, no foul. They're gone. A la the Deshaun Watson, excuse me, from sitting out all last year. Now he was still on the squad.
Yeah.
He was still.
They had to pay him, right?
Yeah, because he wasn't suspended or anything.
And he was
on
the
still
roster.
getting paid. Yeah, and he was on the roster. So they just benched him just so they didn't have to run their star rapist out there every Sunday. But
yeah.
Well,
that would be good to have something like that where it's like just kind of a holding spot.
Yeah.
We drafted this guy, we've made an investment, we got his side of the story. Well, it comes out today, literally in the last hour, this news broke that he's not going to face criminal charges over accusations he participated in a gang rape of a minor while he was at San Diego State. The San Diego County District Attorney's Office announced its decision today, saying that prosecutors determined it is clear the evidence does not support the filing of criminal charges. There is no path to a potential criminal conviction.
Yeah, well, which was basically what happened after the original investigation, as far as I know.
Right.
So, and I don't know what exactly prompted this second investigation, whether it just finally went public. Because he was now in the NFL, it was a bigger story. If some new details come out, I can't remember exactly why it came back up.
Right.
Or it finally, I think it maybe just finally went public, or they went public with it or something. But it was still there.
I hate the idea. I don't like the idea of being able to go public, by the way, because his name is forever shit.
Exactly right. That's,
you know what I mean?
And even that, like, you shouldn't even announce that it's being investigated.
Right.
In all honesty, on any level, because
they always keep the girl's name out of it. Like, oh, to protect her, blah blah blah. She doesn't need it. Well, you know, sometimes, and I'm not saying she's lying. I'm not saying that at all. We have no idea. You have no idea. But what I do know,
we're not saying that he's lying either, and his name's out there.
Right, his name is out there,
and that's twice now that they struck out on this charges thing. So I'm starting to lean a little more Team Punt God.
Yeah, but you know,
Team Pincushion.
Right. You know, who knows what really happened? It sounds like he fucked the girl.
Yeah,
you know,
probably. And she probably got drunk, fucking put out.
Yeah. Regretted
getting trained all night.
Yeah.
And decided to make up this story.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. Let's see. Dan Gillian, who represented the plaintiff, responded by accusing the DA's office of dismissing his client because she was intoxicated. I'm never surprised when a prosecutor does not file sex assault charges when the victim was intoxicated. Yeah, that's a hard one because these things all come down to he said, she said.
Absolutely true.
They do.
Yeah.
And
details get blurred a little bit.
I think we're past the days of, well, look at her. You know, look what she was wearing. What did she expect was going to happen?
You got drunk in a room full of guys. Of course you're going to get nailed. Right?
Yeah.
No,
you got shit-faced at a party at a football player's house. What did you think was going to happen? I think we're past those days.
Yeah. And I'm glad we're past believe all women days, too.
Yeah.
I'm glad that time came and went.
Yeah. It does bode well for her in that she immediately went to the police the next day and did a rape test. So I don't know what the prosecutor's office saw, but they clearly are like, yeah, there's no way we could get a jury
now
to convict.
If I remember correctly, wasn't there allegedly some video of this? Wasn't somebody that she?
Oh yeah, there might have been a phone. Yeah,
I mean, she said there was somebody like a light on, like somebody was videoing or something like that. She had a vague
100%.
recollection of that.
Yeah.
So I would think that the phones have been seized and searched.
Oh, 100%.
And all that.
There's no way they wouldn't do that.
So that probably didn't pan out, or it did, and they found it, and she's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, get another one. Come on, who's next?
Why are there only 2 dicks in me right now?" Yeah. In the criminal system, the victim is just another witness. She is not represented by anyone. Prosecutors cannot file charges unless they think they can get a unanimous decision from all jurors who cannot vote to convict unless they're convinced beyond reasonable doubt. Gillian indicated that he and his client were still proceeding with their lawsuit against Arijah and the other defendants. The lawsuit we filed is not in the criminal justice system. It's a different ballgame. The victim is represented, and the focus is on the harm defendants caused her. It is only in the civil system that a victim of sex assault can achieve justice, and we plan to do just that. So a money grab.
So we're going civil.
Yeah.
I got you. Right. Oh, you want to talk about damages?
Right.
Well, let's see. How much did Matt lose in this deal?
Right.
Yeah.
Could he counter?
I would think so. That was going to be my question on that. Do you file a countersuit? Be like, no, this is egregious. I was found not guilty. Right. That's why I have an issue with the whole double jeopardy of the civil and criminal charges on some level. I get it, but on a lot of levels I don't, because if you were found not guilty, now right, wrong, or indifferent. You were found not guilty.
Yeah.
So I know it's a lower standard. I know all the other bullshit that goes along with it for the civil stuff. But the fact of the matter is, if you were found not guilty criminally, then you should be not guilty civilly.
Tell that to the Goldmans.
Well, I'm not saying that it's perfect, but I'm not saying that it works in every case. But I would say that that's probably more the exception than the rule. The Goldmans, and that was kind of the first time I remember hearing about something like that. And I would say, okay, well, here's your options. You can do one or the other. You can do it civilly, And there's a lower bar, and you can do
Which
that.
is what the Deshaun Watson girls did.
Yeah, or you can do the criminal. But if you do the criminal, he's found not guilty, then you can't go back after him for the civil, which is the double jeopardy of it. The way I see it.
They're not. He wasn't found not guilty though in the criminal. This is just a high bar, and the prosecution knows if I'm going to get 12 members of a jury to convict, I've got to have they would have had to have filmed that whole episode, and it had been she's out cold and they're training her.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like they would have needed something so locked up,
that you can't even. So you're telling me that the standard is so low that they won't even bring rape charges against him or anybody else involved?
Yeah.
In this gangbang.
Well,
but it's totally okay as long as you can convince 12 other random people. I don't even know if it's a jury, if civil people, if it's a jury thing or not.
Yeah, I think so.
Does it go as a jury?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a what do they call that? Well, whatever. My guess is, if I had to guess about what happened that night, okay, and we had heard things like she got her earrings, belly button ring, and nose ring
Ripped
yanked out of her.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it sounded horrific. My guess is Matt is drinking this probably really hot 17-year-old senior in high school. Shows up shit-faced to this party. If you remember, he's admitted, and she has, he took her to the side of the house, the side of the garage, and she blew him. And then he took her inside and fucked her. So my guess is, based on those details right there, it's not like he had respect for this girl. And, I'm not here to pass judgment. We've all been in situations where it's like, I didn't show the greatest level of respect for the girl.
Well, how much respect did she show?
Right. But if she's fucking hammered high school girl, I mean, you would hope that older people would not take advantage of that situation. Not that that's a reality, but, you would hope. And so my guess would be something along the lines like he got his, and then being some jockhead, fucking entitled, maybe left the bedroom, was like, have at her, boys.
Yeah.
She's primed and ready to go. High five, high five. And then they go in. Maybe a camera flash goes off, which is what she saw.
It's very possible.
She's a gamer. She's up for whatever. She blew me after meeting her 3 minutes ago. And, doesn't make it right, but that probably happens on campuses all the time.
True.
You know?
I'd see one of the major differences between a civil and a criminal case is that only 10 of the 12 jurors need to reach the same decision to render a verdict for civil.
Okay.
So I guess that's probably where the standard's a bit lower.
Yeah.
You don't have to have unanimous decision, but still 10 of the 12, I think, is still relatively a high bar to reach, I would think.
Yeah, relatively, but certainly not as high as a criminal.
No,
at all.
No, but it's not like it's got to be a majority. Not like 7 of the 12. As long as more than half of them believe you, you're in.
Mm-hmm. The other weird thing about this story was when she went into the police department and they called Matt.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Remember that part of the story where she was like, "We did have actual sex, right?" And he was like, sounds like a narc son of a. He's like, "This is Matt Arasia. I don't remember anything that happened that night." Click. Yeah. And then before he got off the phone, he was like, "By the way, get yourself tested for chlamydia. Bye." Click. So he sounds like a real piece of shit.
Very possible.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, you're the punt god at San Diego State. I'm sure. I'm sure you do quite well for yourself.
Yeah. And he got tons of publicity.
Yeah.
You can imagine what it was
ESPN
like around
stories
San Diego.
on him. Right. I'm probably the only player from San Diego State to be drafted.
Yeah. Attorney Carrie Armstrong, who represents Matt, says, I 100% do not believe that he ever forcibly raped this girl or had sex with her while she was passed out or drunk or anything like that. It's unfortunate that
drunk might be an odd part of that. Because
while she was passed out or drunk. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you have one drink, you could technically be drunk.
Especially a 17-year-old girl.
Yeah. At a
who's
probably
tiny as hell.
This probably isn't, 4 o'clock in the afternoon either.
Right.
Like that. So,
yes.
It
was a Halloween party. She was drinking somewhere else, and then they went over to this house that Matt happened to live in
so
for a party.
I'd be careful with that part of the statement there,
yes.
Carrie.
while she was passed out or drunk or anything like that, well, I can promise you she was shit-faced.
Right.
Promise you that.
So
It's unfortunate she's filed a civil suit. I think it's a cash grab. Matt's very upset about this, as you can imagine. He's very disappointed, but he's going to get his day in court eventually. This is bigger than football. Bills GM Brandon Beane said, well, you drafted him, and you knew this story was out there.
and you cut him.
Right.
So
And it goes on and on, blah, blah, blah. Here's another thing. So, like Deshaun Watson, who was subject to an 11-game suspension from the league, even though there were no criminal charges and he settled with, these civil suits with these 22 women or whatever, there was no admission of guilt. He's never apologized. The league was still able to suspend him for 11 games, which cost him millions of dollars in salary. Were an NFL team to sign Arija now, he would not be subject to the league's personal conduct policy over the alleged rape because it is said to have taken place in 21 before he was drafted.
Okay, so why would the Bills be? I mean,
what do you mean?
Well, I mean, I guess the Bills did it on ethics of why they cut him.
Well, that's a PR move.
Yes, right.
Over a punter. Now, would it have been the same had it been Josh Allen, their QB of the future? Before, and remembering Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming was not Josh Allen yet.
No, not at all.
But still, if you draft a guy in the first round as a QB, do you think they would have let this play out a bit?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. The fourth-round punter, fifth-round punter, whatever you end up going in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'm torn on this stuff just because there's such a knee-jerk reaction so often on these things.
Right.
Where
People
react before all the facts are
right
out for people to know to make that decision. If you're going to make a decision like that, then you better have all the information available,
right,
to make that decision.
Do you think we're still in a time of the pendulum swinging back, where for too long entitled people, whether it's Hollywood elites or media elites or athletic elites, have gotten away with a lot of shit. And a lot of stuff has been swept under the rug. That's no secret to anyone. But when the Me Too movement started, and it's fizzled, but when it did, it was like an end to that era.
Yeah.
Where teams tried to sweep things under the rug still. Hollywood tried the same. But it was like, we're not having it. So to me, the Bills, it's a PR nightmare for them that they don't want to deal with. It's not worth it over a player.
Probably
right now.
not. Well,
and they still tried to get away with it because they knew something was off here.
Well, that's true. And I mean, if they knew about it and they believed him, right? And so there's a lot of variables to this whole situation on whether it's true or not, to what level it's true or not. And is there, if he's found guilty in the civil, then will there be repercussions if he is signed? Let's say, will then he be suspended because of the civil?
No, he can't be.
Well, I know not now because of the statute. I'm just saying
Right.
it theoretically. Let's just say, there's no charges, but you found guilty civilly. Well, I mean, I guess because they can do anything they want. I've already proven that they can just suspend guys for whatever without.
Well, I think the penalty would be that another team doesn't take a look at him. My question to you is, does someone give him a shot in the NFL going forward?
I mean, probably. I mean, not this year.
No, not this year. I mean, there's only 5 games left in the postseason.
But listen, trust me, a dude with a leg like that, because he was already drafted, so it's not like he can go back into the draft.
Right.
So once
he's a free agent.
He's a free agent. He can just go try out for teams, and just about every team he goes to, he's going to be the best punter on that team.
Yes.
So there's very few. I mean, there's some decent punters out there. There's some decent punters.
Foxy's our guy.
Right, that's fine, but and so he probably wouldn't even bother. Those aren't the teams he would go after. But he can just go and try out, and teams would probably have an incentive because they can probably pay him a lot less as a walk-on
Yeah.
Free
Initially,
agent.
anyways.
Yeah,
he'll have
initially.
to earn his way into the league.
So it's fine. I mean, a punter's one of those situations where, I mean, not that they make a ton of money, but they make pretty good money. And if you're one of
they do.
And if you're one
and
of
they could have a 22-year career.
and if you're one of those, the top tier punters, then and especially the way the veterans minimums go up and things like that. There's a structure to how the salaries go.
They're going to be multimillionaires.
So this guy can be a bargain for somebody.
Sure.
And this goes, and maybe I don't know how the timeline of this all goes out, because the reality is that by next training camp, it probably all goes away. You don't even hear about it anymore.
Yeah, but it will be news if he signs somewhere, or when he tries out. It'll be like there will be a witch hunt for like any team that even welcomes him into camp for a tryout is going to be looked at as not supporting women.
So if
hashtag me too.
So if they settle before the civil, if they reach an agreement and drop those charges, does it still carry him? Does it still carry along with him? Is it still
because
gonna be a big shit show?
It looks like another entitled athlete just bought his way out of trouble. And is it worth it for an NFL franchise to then go, hey, he settled his court stuff. It's all good. There's probably a lot of women listening.
Browns.
Yeah, sure. And they're willing to put up with that shit. They are. And the Browns historically have done that, haven't they? Welcomed players onto their team that have been outcast, whether it's Kareem Hunt.
Right.
There's been a few guys on the Browns that have been in trouble, and it's like, fuck it. Whether it's the Bengals with Joe Mixon, these guys have been able to make a comeback. I don't know. I don't know what you do with this.
Well, I don't either. But I also don't. Again, it's a very troubling situation because we don't really know what happened, and for this guy's career to potentially be over, and for him to potentially be completely innocent.
Yeah.
Maybe some poor judgment.
For sure.
But nothing, criminal.
Yeah.
Right? For him to lose his livelihood and his entire career.
Yeah, sucks.
Is I mean, it's almost inexcusable, really.
Yeah. It's almost like these guys, they almost need to be told, like, you can't even put yourself in a position where, I know that's not reality.
Well, of course, but you're also a college fucking dude,
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're, Bryce Young at Alabama, Heisman winner, top draft pick. This is going like, all right, dude, keep your dick clean. Be smart. Yeah. Don't risk it. This is coming.
Yeah.
Mr. Matarazza's got that. Had that coming.
Right.
Even though he was a really good punter, but until he really didn't get any of that heat until his senior year, his last season, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, you're a punter. You're good.
I imagine
you don't think you're going to get Sports Center fucking clips made on you.
Yeah, but he did.
Well, I understand that then.
Yeah.
Maybe this might even been before that. Who knows?
I imagine there's probably a lot of females.
Because this was
my guess is, Troy, that.
Well, this was Halloween.
Yeah.
So this is the very beginning of the season.
Right.
So.
Yeah, he hadn't gotten that kind of press yet.
Right.
Out locally, he would have.
Well, sure.
Locally, he would have.
But.
I imagine. I don't know what the percentage is, but it's probably really fucking high of women who have been sexually taken advantage of. By and large, I don't want to say majority, but almost every girl I know has a story.
I'm sure.
Of some sort.
Yeah.
So there's probably a lot of women listening to two guys talk about this and almost like excuse, like, well, he wasn't found guilty. Yeah, they didn't even bring charges. Must mean he's innocent. We're not saying that at all.
I know. I did not say that at all.
No. But if you were a girl who, and this is conjuring up, you're remembering like a college party you went to, ended up at a frat house when you were a senior in high school. Mm-hmm. That happened. A lot of hot girls we knew in high school would go early to colleges and party, and there's probably a lot of them that would have gotten shit-faced on one shot and half a beer. True. And got taken advantage of by some frat boy, and they're hearing us talk about it going, that girl went through exactly what I went through. It was bullshit then, it's bullshit now, blah, 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 blah.
Possibly.
And all we're saying is, You don't know, just because of your lived experience does not mean that this is the reality here at San Diego State.
Exactly right.
Even though I'm kind of leaning towards
maybe probably
horrible judgment at a minimum.
Yes.
And I wouldn't put it past. I mean, the guy's telling her on the fucking phone, he's figured out there's probably cops on that line.
Yeah. Well,
the way he goes, I'm mad Asia, and I don't remember anything from that night, and hangs up, but then tells her, get checked for chlamydia.
But before that, so that's the end of that call. But before that, it was like, yeah, we fucked. Right?
Yeah.
If I remember this correct, I don't have it in front of me.
Yes.
But it was like, yeah, what are you talking about? Yeah, you fucking blew me out back. And then we went upstairs and I put it in your ass. You don't remember that? You were fucking begging me for it. Of course. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And then they're still like going with but we had like actual sex. Like you put your dick inside of me, right? Like, okay, red flag, you know, and then abort. But it's not like all along was like, oh, what you talking about? No, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
No, it was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, we had sex. Like, you know, and I don't.
And what
that means, I don't know. But to just take the end of that call and make it look some weird shady thing, that's not how that call went at all. It was just the fact that he had tipped off like, all right, you're asking me too many weird questions.
Yeah,
you know, I could see like there's somebody, you hear somebody else in the room, ask him this, or you know, whatever. Like, oh, okay,
can you Google really quick what is the age of consent in California?
It doesn't matter.
Well, it does, because she was a 17-year-old high school girl.
Well,
now, I don't know how many guys in high school are carding girls that end up at their house party.
Well, exactly, and that's the thing.
And obviously, they didn't bring charges for that.
No, exactly.
But they do call her a minor.
And she probably was. But if you're in college, here's the other thing too. And I would not fault a person at all for being in college at a college party and assuming that the girl at your college party is in college. Okay. Because
I think that's not a safe assumption to make.
Okay, but 99% of the girls at these parties are in college.
Sure.
Now, is there ones that come through? Sure.
Yeah.
But are you to card every single one? Do you card the other 99%?
Yeah.
You know? No. So it's not. It's
in
not
our day,
reasonable.
that would have been laughable. But I don't know what.
But it's not reasonable.
It's like.
It's not realistic to if she looked young or she was in a situation to where potentially. But if you're in college, you're going to be at least 18 years old.
Yeah, but
basically.
Nowadays the joke is, and it's sort of a reality. Like, make sure you're getting signed releases from girls. You know what I mean? Like consent forms and shit. I don't know how prevalent that is or how realistic that is. I know that's South Park, but South Park is playing on real stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that is a, let's see. Yeah, it's 18. I was going to say, I think some of them have, there's like some variables, like it's 16 if this, but it's 17, it's 18 if this, whatever. But this looks like it's just straight 18.
And I know that there's a big difference between being 40 and fucking a 17-year-old versus being 19 and banging a 17-year-old.
And is there a huge difference between 17 and 364 days? And 18 in one day?
Technically.
I mean, sure. But again, what do we, I get it, but let's be real about a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Too. You put yourself in this situation, it's not, I don't know. I don't have.
Do you want to see him in the league? Because
I do, absolutely.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, listen, if he's a raper, no. I'm going to be real clear on that.
Well, he admitted to fucking her. Right?
Well, exactly, but that's not the raping. That's
no.
And this has been investigated twice and no charges brought. Now, I'm saying that, not saying that makes him innocent, but I am leaning more towards innocent than not at this point.
I don't know what those two teammates did, and I don't know if Matt left her in a room somewhere and invited his boys in to take advantage of a passed out girl.
Maybe
that wouldn't shock me at all.
Maybe they walked in and found her.
Alcohol makes people do really fucked up things.
Yeah.
We can all attest to that.
Yeah. In that phone call, he wasn't like, yeah, of course I fucked you. So did Bob, Timmy, John, Joe. God, you don't remember it? We all fucking railed you.
Yeah.
He didn't say that on the call before he knew it was a tap call.
I'd still like to know a little bit more about the fucking nose ring, belly button ring, earrings ripped out of her body. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I don't know. I mean,
I know. Yeah. It's
again,
another part of the story.
Right. It's part of the story, but it also says that there's none of it is proven. None of it is, You
would think that'd be easy to prove.
You'd think so. There would be a bunch of pictures from the rape test, I would think.
Yeah.
That stuff would all show that.
And it wasn't like she waited a month.
No.
She went the next morning.
Right. So, I mean, listen, if this is true, then by all means, this guy deserves everything he gets, and fuck him. You don't deserve to play in the league.
Yeah.
But
it's not a right, it's a privilege.
You know, my spidey senses are telling me that it's not everything that it seems to be.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if there's
I just hate to see a guy lose a career like that.
Yeah, me
But
too.
over
That's always been my argument. Is before before someone gets their day in court. I don't like it. I understand it's not your right it's not your right to work anywhere, really.
Yeah, right.
You know, Jay used to argue with me about that all the time. Well, go get a job. No one's preventing him from working. He can go get a job at McDonald's if he wants. It's like, yeah, sort of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, you're just willing to deem someone, you know, yeah, go dig ditches, fuckface.
Yeah.
You know, like, no. That's
Besides,
not how the system's
aren't we a
supposed to work.
society of second chances?
Well,
Aren't we supposed to be?
yes, but I don't know that rape counts.
If you do some rapings,
Yeah.
and you go to prison and you serve your sentence and you come out, you're supposed to be
Yeah, that's a tough one.
supposed to be exonerated, right?
That's a
You
toughie.
did your time,
Hey.
you paid your penance, right?
That's what I always say.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, but that might be one of those where if you're a murderer, a wife beater, a rapist,
Kid
yeah,
fucker.
you did your time, kid fucker. You did your time, and you can go back in society, but you are not going to be welcomed into one of these, you know, the NFL, Major League, like that. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I sort of get that, you know. But for this guy, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, it'll be interesting. I imagine someone will try to take a flyer on him eventually.
I would think so.
You
Like
know,
I said,
it is
it's-
still just a punter.
Yep.
So
No, I know.
You
But
know,
again, he's going to, he's going to go to trial. He will get invitations to camp, I'm sure.
yeah.
And again, maybe not this year. Probably,
And maybe he goes to the fucking
XFL.
Canadian League and
XFL.
goes and just drops bombs.
Sure.
To the point where it's like undeniable. Like this guy's,
Yeah.
you know,
I wouldn't be surprised if he signs with the XFL this year
yeah.
and goes and plays there.
Yeah, just to keep
Let
warm.
this figure it out.
Stretch the leg out.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get some tape, as they
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Well, his family came out in defense of him pretty strong, which
Of course they
you would
would.
expect.
Of
but,
course.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to follow that story, but you know, the news broke today that there's
That
absolutely
they're not.
no charges.
Exactly. And that's been a minute. So this has been an ongoing investigation for
Yeah.
a while. I mean, we're more than halfway through the season.
Yeah.
And this happened before the season started.
Yeah.
So this is months of investigating to get to
Yeah.
this point.
Yep.
So I'm sure for the most part, it's been thoroughly investigated.
Yeah.
And again, not because they chose not to press charges doesn't mean that there's nothing there. Because you're right,
Yeah.
they base that on the probability of a conviction.
Right.
But
And you don't want that on your record that you keep losing cases that you
no, I understand that. But especially in a relatively high profile case, with these guys, a lot of these fucking DAs want to make their name on,
Yeah.
right?
Which leans even more in favor of Matt Arija, by the way.
Yeah.
If it's like, yeah, he'd love the opportunity to make his name off something
Exactly.
like this.
Exactly.
He could campaign for future office based on that case.
Exactly right.
So for him to go, yeah, I got nothing.
Nope,
Can't-
we're not doing
nothing
that here.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know. It's unfortunate, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll follow it for sure.
Hey, the holidays are here. Speaking of the Ravens, our friends at Zott Ford and DealsInTheD.com have the perfect gift for you and all the loved ones on your list. Not only do they have a healthy selection of new vehicles in stock and ready to go home with you today, they also have holiday cash, making these the best deals of the year. But as Santa knows, Zott's jolly inventory won't last long. So the sooner you get there, the better your selection. And when the holidays are gone, so is the once-a-year holiday cash. Or if you decide to custom order your next new Ford instead of driving it off the lot, you can lock in your holiday cash plus an extra $1,000 rebate and 3.9% financing. So go to see Santa's Little Elves at Zott Ford and Holly, where they're making buying, leasing simple, fun, fast, and easy, and get the gift that keeps on giving, the brand new Ford of your dreams. See details and surf their jolly inventory at DealsInTheD.com and tell them TDC sent you.
Guy Gabara called me the other day and wants me to do this like spinal decompression
Okay.
thing that he's been doing.
All right.
I guess it's a little costly, out of pocket.
Okay.
But he's like, bro.
That sounds great.
Right. Like, yeah. Like I got a few grand to just toss around, but he's like, bro, before you do any surgery or anything,
That would be my last option. I mean, actually, obviously is. I've
put it off. Yeah,
Surgery.
surgery. Yeah. But he's like, but dude, I'm in so much pain. If I'm not on meds, especially, it's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
And it's not looking up. So, but he's like, bro, I'm telling you, this guy's amazing, you know. So I was like, you know what? I'm having another procedure on Monday with Dr. Atchman. I will ask him about spinal decompression.
Yeah,
See,
good
see
conversation
what he
to have.
says. Yeah, I figure, you know.
Yeah.
But he's the one that's like, dude.
Your guy's not, this Atchman's not the surgeon, right?
Atchman's the pain guy who does my epidurals.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so he's recommended a couple surgeons for me, and he's like, look, Mike, I'll be honest with you. You've exhausted all conservative, you know, whatever, you know, treatments. Yeah, you've done meds, you've done physical therapy, you've done epidurals. Like, you're gonna have to face facts. You're a prime target for surgery. So it's worth asking him then about this spinal decompression. Not
Sure.
that, I mean, if it's more than $5, it's really kind of out of
Probably
my.
not going to be an option.
Yeah, it's not
Well,
really going to be an option.
I
But
hate to tell you, but your surgery's not going to be free either.
no, I don't know what that costs.
There's costs associated with it.
Is it?
I mean, it depends on, you know, with the insurance and your
Yeah.
your deductibles and things like that. But
Yeah, not looking forward to it.
no.
Yeah.
The trick
But-
is you pay all that shit up front, and then you do those the major stuff in the back end of the year
Yeah.
when you've met your deductible, and there's no
right as we run to the front of the start of the year.
Yeah, when your out of pocket's already maxed out for the year, so it
Yeah.
doesn't cost you anything no matter what you do.
Well, I tell you, my boy Nick got me hooked up with insurance. My deductible is fuck all.
Outstanding.
Yeah, but the cost of my meds
Yeah.
is a tenth of what it was. He's like, this insurance is better than anything I've had, and I had good insurance. Yeah,
I was talking
and it's a
with
fraction of the cost.
Tooch about that
Fraction.
yesterday, on how his deductible had gone way down.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, January 1st, why don't you just fucking cut that deductible check and be like, here, see you
Yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
Here you go. I'm not paying you
Dude,
another fucking
it's a
dime.
couple $100. It's like $350.
Here you go. Don't talk to me till next January.
I thought mine was cheap as shit at $2,000. And what they do, my meds are extremely expensive. Even with insurance, I've got multiple meds that are $100 a month
Yeah.
with insurance covering majority of the cost. But those initial January, February into March
Yeah.
payments, when it's like, oh yeah, you want your
all out of
life-saving
pocket.
meds,
Yeah.
those will be $900 this week. And I'm like, fuck. You know, but it's, you know, until you reach that deductible. So he really did me a solid, man. And we'll give his number. I don't know if we're doing his read today, but we'll keep you informed on that. But we don't have to do it right now.
I know. Just
But
saying.
you can.
It just so happened to be.
Oh, are we doing it today?
We are. In fact, we are talking about your insurance expert, Nick Matthews.
Yeah, he's great.
He is great.
He's great. He
Yeah.
really talked me through and answered all the questions. He knew his shit like no one I've ever talked to before. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well get into it. While we're
Yep.
talking about it, it's on the tip of my tongue because
Yeah.
it is open enrollment for individual health insurance. You don't go online and get swindled or pick the wrong plan. Let Nick Matthews from Your Insurance Expert do the legwork for you. He's licensed in most states and an expert in health insurance, life insurance, and Medicare supplements, so you don't have to be. And if you have any questions or you want to save a little money, call Nick Matthews at 248-914-1173. He is your insurance expert, and we've seen it firsthand.
firsthand. Yeah.
And
It's-
a fucking stand-up dude.
Remarkable. And I was texting with him today, and he was saying what an honor it was to be a sponsor here and how great it's been for him.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, I was really glad to hear that. I was
Those
like,
Matthews
dude,
boys, really
total pros, man.
studs. Yeah.
Absolute pros. And that's what we're looking for out of sponsors. You know, you want to know that people are taken care of.
Yep.
And
And both ways, exactly.
not blown off and all that kind of
thank
stuff.
you
And-
to the monsters and the listeners out there that
Yeah.
do help support that and
Huge.
keep this cycle going.
Huge.
Yeah, it doesn't work without either of them.
No, it doesn't. Getting to other stories, I did want to mention briefly the Time Magazine Person of the Year finalists were announced. I had the story yesterday.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I know, and I think Hitler won it one year, and but on the finalist list, and I'll give you there's like 6 names on here. We'll just get your
right.
opinion, who you think it should go to.
Okay.
Ron DeSantis,
Okay.
obviously Florida governor.
Clearly not going to win.
Right. I would get, but Trump's won it.
Yeah, but that was before everybody fucking really hated him.
Yeah, they really hated
was-
him then, but
that
it's
was early
it's
on.
next level now. You're right. Liz Cheney,
No.
no, not going to happen. Elon Musk,
well, yeah, just,
hated, but
yeah,
it's not a popularity contest.
No, I understand.
And it's not about, doesn't mean you're a good person.
No, I get it. I understand.
It's just who's most newsworthy, I think is the way they do it. Also in there, Treasure.
Well, is it newsworthy of Person of the Year? Because Kyle Rittenhouse didn't get Person of the Year. So is it supposed to be like, who was the, I mean, I know it's not the best person, but or the most influential, or I wonder what the criteria is of how many times they were tweeted. I don't know what the criteria of the Person of the Year for them is.
Yeah. Well, Elon was the Person of the Year last year.
Was he? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So he'd be the first
back-to-back
years. He'd be one of the only people to win in consecutive years. I don't know who else has won it, but Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck off. Xi Jinping, the Chinese president.
Yeah.
Vladimir Zelensky is the other one.
Yeah, I bet you it goes to Zelensky.
Yeah, he won an Oscar this year.
Yeah, I bet it goes to him.
You know, they've swept under the rug his just how corrupt Ukraine's government has been historically, the Nazi problem they have.
This was yesterday you
I had the story yesterday, but
because 8 hours ago they said Volodymyr Zelensky's named the Times 22 person.
Oh, they did name him.
Zelensky.
Okay.
Yep, look at that. How about that?
Oh, you know what? Yes. Shit. It even says right here they're going to announce it on the Today Show during Wednesday's broadcast.
Yep. So
it was Zelensky.
We were right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Let's see. Person of the Year called Man of the Year woman until 99 when those lines got blurred.
Right. Because it was always just men.
Yeah. It's an annual issue of the United States Magazine for Website Time featuring a person, a group, or an idea or an object, for better or worse, that has done the most to influence events of the year. Okay. So Zelensky's just getting bombed.
Yeah. And demanding billions and billions of dollars from American taxpayers.
Right.
With no shame at all.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know all the deals, but,
Well, the fact that Hollywood loves him so much makes me fucking not be a fan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, their judgment is so fucked, and their lived reality is so fucking warped that the fact that they're so behind him makes me go, even if I was a fan, I don't think I can be anymore.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Yeah, that's just kind of my thought on it. But anyway, one of the people mentioned was Elon Musk, which leads to we've got the Twitter thread, the Twitter files, and it's been remarkable over the last few days to see the reaction from people. And I thought Mediaite, they made it simple for us. They came up with the 27 most embarrassing reactions to the Matt Taibbi thread about Twitter censoring Hunter Biden tweets. And this is by Caleb Howe. And the byline says, construct tweet, say formerly respected or once great, etc., Matt Taibbi. Okay. And Matt Taibbi was a well-respected independent journalist.
Yeah, you got to start taking the shine off, though. You got to.
Yes.
Right.
That's how these work.
Anytime you defect,
yes,
they have to start stealing your credibility.
Call it PR or communications or like that for example, world's richest man, the richest person in the world, so on. Quote tweet thread, hashtag optional, that's it, that's the tweet. And so he's put together, and most of these people are journalists. And it took me all day today practically to edit these down so I didn't have 27 pages of shit. Ben Collins is the first one on here. Imagine throwing it all away to do PR work for the richest person in the world. Humiliating shit. Ben Collins, I believe, is at NBC and is a shill for, all things, you know.
Sure.
Chris Hayes, is he NBC as well? Is he MSNBC? I can't remember what. Are they scratching at the door?
I think so. They're fighting over there.
They're fighting over something. Chris Hayes, watching some of the most famous, most powerful, and richest men red pill themselves into disaster. Pretty wild. Mehdi Hassan, imagine volunteer. You're going to hear the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
It's almost like a memo went out.
Oh,
Yeah, we see that time and again.
Start seeing some keywords used in there.
See if you could pick them out. You feel free to play along at home.
Gotcha.
Imagine volunteering to do online PR work for the world's richest man on a Friday night. in service of nakedly and cynically right-wing narratives and then pretending you're speaking truth to power.
Oh, no. So what part of this is not truth?
Yeah.
What part of this is debunked?
Yeah.
Any of this?
No. And you'll notice the same thing, that none of them have anything but shade to throw at Matt Taibbi.
Yeah, hey, right? Bring your receipts. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, defend your side.
Right.
But no, it's deflect and defend. That's it. There's no, or there is no defense. I mean.
And what do you expect Elon Musk to do? Go to a different outlet than Twitter? And it makes sense to have an independent journalist go through this. It sort of reminds me of when Snowden had all his shit, and he handpicked Glenn Greenwald.
Yeah.
And was like the most. If you've ever seen that movie, is it 4? Snowden, something like that. But it's like a documentary behind the scenes of how that all developed and how he got Glenn Greenwald and the flights they took and the extent of measures they went to, so that this shit didn't come out, and it wasn't before they were able to get the story out there.
Not let it leak.
And so
let anybody else get out in front of it, things like that.
Snowden wanted full transparency, and it was like, here's everything I got, Glenn. You're the journalist.
Yeah.
You're the one that can make sense of all this and put it together for the American public. Go. And, believe me, if Glenn Greenwald didn't see it for what Snowden was presenting him, he wouldn't have done it. Yeah. And Taibbi's the same way. Very well-respected journalist historically.
He was, anyway.
Right, until Friday. Until Friday. Now all of you clowns are the respectable ones. Shame on all of you. Journalists are almost worse than Hollywood elites and government elites at this point.
It's becoming one big incestuous fucking pod.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's fucking embarrassing. And I don't know if these people are jealous of Matt Taibbi or if they really believe this stuff.
No, because it doesn't
carrying
matter.
Water for?
I think it's clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they all have the jersey on. It's pretty obvious.
Elias Cepeda, watching Matt's unbelievable fall into lazy, reactionary commentator and now PR hand for the world's richest man is depressing.
Didn't he just get knocked down from that, I think?
What's that?
I think he just got knocked down from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No longer the world's richest man.
Right. He's down to $183 billion
Poor
now.
guy.
Yeah. Simon Owens, from calling Goldman Sachs a vampire squid to giving free PR to
the world's richest man.
How did you know that? The world's richest billionaire, this one says.
Well, that goes without saying, dumbass.
Man.
Bit redundant, are we?
He's the most wealthy. He's the world's richest 10,000-aire. Yeah. Really need to say billion?
Yeah.
Man, what a career journey. Yeah, he called out Goldman Sachs and did all the reporting that you all loved. He did that, and he still has the honor to go and take on the fucking elitist of the elitist who buried that story. He is speaking truth to power. You might not see it, but most people do.
Oh, no, they do. That's the problem. That's why that's why the attack. That's why the smear campaigns. This is not unintentional by any stretch. This is just to,
It's so shameful, though.
It is. It's pathetic.
So fucking sad to watch,
people should stand up and applaud. That's even if it's not what you wanted to hear.
Yes.
It's
not what
true.
it's about.
It's factual. It's what's real.
Yeah.
And that's all that matters.
I honestly, when this came out and it was like, okay, for years we've talked about, they're shadow banning conservatives, or they're banning conservatives. They're taking away people's right to have their opinion and free speech and blah, blah, blah. You knew it was there. You could pull it up, but now you had the behind the scenes receipts. Now, and it was like, okay, well, there's no way people can argue with this. Like, when you see the actual receipt, unless you're going to come to the table and say, those are forged. I didn't write that.
Sure.
Go through my email and you can see on that date, that timestamp.
You know who's said that? Nobody ever.
Nobody ever has said that. Yeah. And it's sad because I would have thought these people would have a little more shame, a little more tail between the legs, a little more like, wow, kind of snap out of it and go, look how fucking far down the rabbit hole to get him I went to get my guy elected, that I was willing to take my journalistic integrity and throw it in the garbage. boy, oh boy, I need to look in the mirror and take some personal stock here as to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because this is not what I signed up for. I know it goes against what, but I already won. I got my fucking idiot elected.
Sure. Yeah, they did it for so long with such impunity that even they don't even know what repercussions are. And it just to deny and deflect has worked so well for so long.
Yeah.
Why stop now?
Yeah.
No matter what it is. Like you said, wasn't me.
Yeah.
Wasn't me.
If there's no one that can stand up and stop you.
Yeah. And all you do is and
it's encouraged,
and
really.
As one pops up, okay. Taibbi, guess what? Well, we're going to knock you down. You're the whack-a-mole today.
Yeah.
We're going to do everything we can do to tear you down, and I can only imagine the extent of digging that has been going on since Friday.
Yeah.
To do anything and everything to
character
find
assassinate.
something to try and bury this guy.
Yeah.
Because that's more important than the reporting that's being done. They'll find a picture of him like Jerry Jones somewhere 50 years ago. See what this asshole did?
Yeah.
He stole a Snickers bar from a 7-Eleven when he was 11.
Can you really trust
Can you
him?
trust a man like that?
Yeah. It's just really sad to me. Let's see. Jason Schreier, editors are great, not just because they make your work sharper, but because you can ask things like, hey, should I be doing PR work for the
world's richest man?
Richest man on the planet.
Richest man on the planet. Sorry. Well, you got to change it up a little.
Yeah.
Just keep them on their toes.
Wajahat Ali. I don't know who that is. Matt Taibbi, what sad, disgraceful downfall. I swear, kids, he did good work back in the day. Should be a cautionary tale for everyone. Selling your soul for?
The richest man on the planet.
Close. The richest white nationalist on earth.
Oh,
we're going down the race lines. Yeah, make this a race.
Hey, can we make this? Can we be real? The richest African American on the planet?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
he's probably still, even though he's not the world's richest man, he's probably still the world's richest African American.
He's definitely.
Jason Wilson says, I know he's telling you what you want to hear, but that doesn't change the fact that he's working PR for
the richest man on the planet.
Yeah, you nailed it. How did you know?
I got it because you got to change it up. I'm figuring out the algorithm.
Jim Stinson, Taibbi got the story. You didn't. You think cleaning the closet and the toilet for the security state and the DNC makes you a journalist? It doesn't. So that guy's going to bat for Matt Taibbi. Ross McCafferty says he didn't get the story. It was handed to him so he could do PR for
the world's richest man.
Nailed it. 100%.
Bang.
How the fuck? Dude, it's like you're
I got
psychic.
it. I'm telling you. I'm figuring out the patterns.
Let's see. Bassia Tim. That's my read, too. That the appropriate policy, people made a call without government interference and were later overturned on appeal. More curious about the process now. A journalist agrees to terms they refuse to describe to do social media PR for
the world's richest man.
No, the richest man alive.
Oh, alive.
Close.
Okay.
Close.
I was going to change it up, and then I thought maybe that was going to be one of those double ups.
Let's speed this up a little bit. See if you can get any of these. John Kneffel writes, another brilliant journalist. The Taibbi thread is a great example of overwriting when you don't have the goods, but you don't want to admit you're just doing PR for
the richest man on the planet.
The world's richest person.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Oh,
close,
person.
close.
See, they're going to start getting into the weeds of person and world and planet.
Zach Roberts, photojournalist for hire, going from Rolling Stone magazine, writing about corporate corruption and power, to tweeting a political hit job assigned by
the world's richest man.
The richest man in the world. Very good. Is a wild fucking ride that all the drugs in Hunter Thompson's trunk could cause. This is all Taibbi. Let's see.
Yeah, I think we get the gist.
Ty Shelter. Let's see. Tom Skoka. 1 minute you're scourging Goldman Sachs. The next you're doing PR for
the richest man in the world.
Yeah, exactly. The richest man in the world. Funny old life. It's weird. Let's see. Yeah, it goes on for another 20 or 30
journalists.
It does.
Of course it does.
Isn't that weird the way they all claim the same thing?
You got to start tagging that, and you have to use that because now, okay, was he being paid? Was he? You're going to start discrediting Musk.
Yeah,
it's just, and that's funny if that's your dig.
Yeah.
The richest man in the world.
Yeah. Do better. Do better.
Oh,
it's sad and pathetic.
Right? It's
and
like
to
calling
see,
me a cracker.
You know,
Okay.
it's almost plagiaristic at this point.
Yeah.
Like, did you read 30 other tweets from other fucking blue check journalist assholes
Right.
and just copy and paste what they said? How is it that of all these brilliant journalists across the most storied and legacy-filled media landscape, you all couldn't come up with something better than the same fucking line?
It's because
It should tell you something.
saturating the landscape with the narrative.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why there's such a mass of it.
Yeah.
That's why it's shoved down your throat.
And
It's
think
because
about
they
how
want it's a trigger. It's fucking Pavlovian.
Yeah.
That's what it wants it to be.
think about how elitist and highbrow it is to just dismiss at face value. You're just doing PR for the world's richest man, says some dipshit from Bloomberg.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck off. Really?
So if a poor man gave him this information,
Yeah.
would it be less valid? Would it be more valid? I
Good
should
question.
say?
They'd find another way.
Yeah.
They'd find the one thing that the poorest
Doing
man
the
in the
PR
world did.
work for a guy that can't even afford a home,
Can't afford new shoes every
Right.
20 years.
foreclosed on a loan in 2008.
But
Oh.
don't buy into the way they're trying to spin that and just dismiss it on its face
Yes.
as doing PR for the world's richest man. Do not throw away Matt Taibbi, who we've talked about many times on this show.
Yeah.
His reporting has been rather impeccable through the years.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves that level of respect. He knew this was coming,
Yeah.
and he still put his fucking neck out there.
And he was respected throughout every aspect of
Yes.
the fucking
Landscape?
no. Anyway, that was a word that just totally flaked out. Anyway,
That happens.
up until Friday.
Yeah.
So what? I mean,
Yeah.
do you really think that
They all know who he is, right? Every one of these legacy media
course.
cocksuckers
and they know
knows
exactly
who he
his
is.
resume,
They
and that's
do.
why they have to tear it down. They don't. I mean, I'm surprised they even reference the Goldman Sachs things in
Right.
there to give him that moniker of credit.
Believe it or not, kids, he used to be a real journalist.
Yeah,
No,
this is what happened.
He's actually one of the few real journalists still out there. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
It's been so obvious. And keep in mind, too, all the brilliant reporting done on Russiagate, that won Pulitzers.
Yeah.
All right. So now that's been 100% totally debunked, false bullshit story, never happened.
Yeah.
We've known that for a long time, but a lot of you are just coming around to it now. Pulitzers were given out for that brilliant reporting. So while you bury an actual journalist, while you shit all over Glenn Greenwald or Max Blumenthal
Yeah.
or Matt Taibbi,
It would have been brilliant.
or independent YouTubers,
Yeah.
that are actually doing good
if you
reporting.
would have like documented this and done a social experiment with it to further the narrative on this, is to go ahead and leak this story to CNN, to MSNBC, to get somebody like that and see what happens.
Wait, say that again.
If he would have leaked the story to CNN, somebody along
Elon
those
Musk,
yeah,
it would
something
have
like-
gotten zero coverage.
exactly,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
he
it would
had
have been
to vet a journalist that would.
I get it, but that's my point. Is that had he been like done that maliciously, intentionally documenting it,
Yeah.
like okay, yeah, no, I gave it to them, all these other people, and it disappeared.
Yeah.
it was laughed at its face. It was buried.
And if they talk about it now on those networks, they laugh about it like it's not a real story.
Of course.
And I don't think they're fooling the American public, though. You can't, because
Enough of
one thing you notice, enough dumb fucking useful idiots, of course.
Yeah.
Probably 15% of that side.
I bet you it's more than that.
You think?
I bet you it's.
I think, but I think you'd have to be an extreme fucking like.
There's different levels of this, of what they're fooling, of what are indifferent, of what just don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, so the number's way more than 15%. Because there's probably more than 15% that understand it and still don't care.
Here's what I think. On the left, you got 15%. On the right, you have 15% that are going to believe everything. 15% of people on the right are going to believe that Donald Trump is the Lord and Savior and
Yeah.
can do no wrong. He's never told a lie. He's never full of shit. He's perfect.
Yeah.
there's 15% on the left who think Don Lemon's the greatest fucking journalist in America. Right? That believe at face value anything MSNBC tells them, anything CNBC or, any of the legacy media outlets tell them. Now,
but you're making it sound like that other 35% is reachable.
What do you mean?
On
the left?
Yeah. Well,
I think some of them are.
I think some of them are, but I think it's. I mean,
you think it's more than 15?
Well, no, because like I said, there's 15 that just won't care. Okay. Or whatever that will just believe it on its face.
Well, they're not even willing to
told.
look at it.
Or whatever.
I'm
saying there's another large number, and it probably goes on both sides depending on the situation. I know it does, but that will believe it and still not care.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a fraction that just won't believe it or whatever.
Right.
It can dismiss it on its face for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But then there's some that'll it's that middle. It's from the 40s, man. That we're fighting over.
Maybe
it's really from the 45s almost at this point of what we're fighting over of just trying to find some middle ground.
I would have thought when you bring receipts and it's undeniable, because the only way that story doesn't hold up, what they're dumping and what they're throwing out there, and there's more to come. The only way that doesn't hold up is if you have people that go, wasn't me that sent that email. That's a bullshit email. If multiple people came out and said, hey, I'm quoted in this Twitter file dump, and that is not at all what was said in my email, even if it was taken out of context, and you went, here's the full context, that would lend credibility. But what you notice is all they have is, you're doing PR for the world's richest man.
Yeah. No,
it's
you're
petty,
not,
you're jealous,
hearing from outside sources. You're not hearing from anybody involved in this.
No, and nobody's made a single claim that those emails are bullshit.
Nobody's made a statement. Nobody's made a thing. No, because they know.
They know. It's just like Hunter Biden and the laptop. What you noticed about all that, through all the cloud of, hey, this is Russia disinformation. Hey, 50 former fucking CIA and FBI guys signed a thing saying, this has all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation.
Yeah.
Nobody on Team Biden ever denied it. They knew better than to make that fucking lie and get on record saying that is not Hunter's laptop. None of those emails are to be believed. That was never said.
No.
That should tell you a lot. It should also tell you a lot.
Because that would be if it wasn't true. Well, I mean, in fact, nobody ever questioned that it was his. Right?
Hunter's laptop?
Yeah.
Oh, in the beginning they did.
Well, it was.
And
whether
they
or not
even asked him, and he was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Fucking wasted.
Could have been.
Fuck, you know what?
Fuck if I know.
I think
they're
I am
like
missing a laptop.
Wait,
shit!
Are you missing a laptop? I don't know.
Yeah.
He didn't recall if he was missing a laptop or if that was his laptop. So
I wonder when that light bulb went off.
I don't know. Gets you out of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd love to know when he went.
Fuck.
Fuck.
No. Oh, they already think I'm the biggest piece of shit on earth.
Shit.
Oh, the family.
But I don't wait. Is the? Oh no.
Oh. And then you think more and more, and it's like,
hey, big guy, we're fucked.
We're fucked. Dad, you're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me. Oh, dude, I left my fucking laptop at that repair shop. Yes, it's been over 90 days.
Right.
Yes,
Joe
technically owns it.
Who's this? Who is this again?
Yeah. It's your son, dipshit. Yeah, it's sad. I fear that stories like this mean that we've reached the end of our road where simply and we felt it for a long time, but now my side winning is more important than reality or truth. And that to me is very, very sad that that the legacy media has bought into this, that Hollywood's bought into this, that Big Pharma's bought into this, what I thought was like, okay, as long as you're being honest, we can be wrong. Yep. We can be wrong on this show. Why do you think people listen to us?
Sure.
We're allowed to be wrong.
I'm a moron.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
Self-described morons.
Yeah.
That's fine. We're allowed to be wrong. What we can't be is full of shit, knowingly.
Yes.
People won't put up with that. But now we're seeing that. And I would have thought that was the end of it. As long as you were trying your best, being honest as you can, reading different opinions and thoughts, coming up with your own thought on it, and that would be enough. But it's not.
No, it's not.
Just not. And
ironic. This is
really sad.
This
It's really
is the
sad.
1 year anniversary. I saw it come up today of the bet that Chris Newberg and Navy Temple made. Going back to the Rittenhouse thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, and not that it really matters, but we had the conversation when it happened.
Yes.
And that Chris basically said, and I'm not piling on anybody, this is just how it happened.
Oh, feel free to pile
but,
on.
Yeah, but he said that he was going to get arrested for something else within a year. And
Yes.
then she bet, well, no, he's not. Why? It was fucking, shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the bet.
Jumping
So
to the conclusion that Kyle Rittenhouse
he was a piece of
such
shit,
a
and
piece
he
of
was
shit,
a troublemaker, and he was,
Right.
that he can't help but do this sort of
proving
thing.
that Chris Newberg had not followed the trial,
Right.
or knew
So-
anything about
and
Kyle
more-
Rittenhouse.
so more so than
like
that-
most people, by the way,
Exactly.
lots of people.
So more than just he didn't do anything. I lost. Here's your piece of Michigan gear. I have to buy you whatever. Why
what
don't
is
we?
that? Was that what the bet was?
It was for you have to buy me a piece of Michigan gear, something like that. I forget what it was. But rather than just that, like now, why don't we peel back the onion a little bit? Let's actually have this conversation as to why did you think that? Why were you so convinced that you were willing to bet
Yeah.
that it was going to happen? Right? I mean, you might have been right, you might have been wrong, but it turns out you were wrong. And the people that were right about that were pretty right. We're pretty confident about that.
And I was just going to say, and very confident that they would be right about
Exactly. So, I mean, but you had nothing to base that on except
that. Legacy media
what
story
you were
spins.
being told, what was being shoved down your throat. And this is an opportunity for you to stop, look back, and realize that you were used in that situation.
Yeah.
And it's more than being right or wrong. It's an opportunity to really stop and look at it and have those moments, because in the grand scheme of things, that's a very minor thing.
Yeah.
But I didn't see it that way. I saw it as, okay, why? In fact, right before we came down, I almost posted it in the thing of like, okay, why don't you guys actually talk about that now? Why you thought that?
Now that the year's up.
Defend, and it's fine. You don't have to go.
Here's what I'll say.
And he wasn't super hardcore, like that guy's a motherfucker. No. But it was. But the
That's not his
reality was
nature.
that was his opinion because of everything that he had been told.
Right.
Right.
I can't remember. I don't know if it was that story or if it was a different story, but I'll give Newberg this. There was something he was talking about on his show, and I happened to be listening. And
You don't listen all the time.
no, I've never listened to this show, and I listen to him sometimes. But either way, I was listening to his show, and he was fucking wrong. He was dead wrong about a story, and it might have been Rittenhouse. It might have been. I don't think it was Rittenhouse. Might have been something else. And he was taking the position lazily of what the narrative had been in
What I've been told, you
what I've
can't.
been
You can't
told.
justify it. You can't defend it. You can't
And-
prove it.
And it was something that you and I had spent enough time on that we really knew the story, and it was clear.
Yeah.
Okay, don't read the LA Times front fucking headline and then base your opinion on that.
Yeah.
And I reached out to Chris, and I was like, dude, you got to do better than that. And he's
Yeah.
like, you know what? I was like, if you're going to do a show and you want to be credible, because I think you are. I think you're an honest person. I think you're a good person.
Yeah,
You're
none
allowed
of
to
it
make
comes from a
mistakes.
bad place
No.
or anything. Just
But I was like, you have a responsibility to do your homework on these stories, because I'll tell you what, you're fucking wrong about this story. You're way wrong, and you need to do more research. Don't just jump into this on the air. As someone who's trying to gain the trust of an audience, you cannot go half loaded with a story. It's okay to ignore the story or blow
exactly.
it off.
Yeah, you don't. If you
until
don't,
you have
if you
enough
don't
on it.
know, don't go hard.
Don't go hard.
Don't take a hardline stance.
And we're all guilty of it on some level, I'm sure. I'm sure people can point to shit we've been wrong on, whatever. But we do our best. I'll give Newberg this. Newberg was like, wow, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
You're right. He's totally willing to hear someone out. Of
course, yeah.
He's totally willing to go, I need to look at myself and do better. I need to read more about it. He totally got it. He didn't put up a fight. He didn't try to defend it.
And he wasn't trying to be wrong, there's a big difference in that.
Right.
Of your intentions. It goes back to intentions mean everything.
Right.
He, was just, and he just took things at face value.
Yeah.
And that's more my point is, how's that working out for you?
Yeah.
Right? This is an example of to now go back and re-examine, and let's have a conversation of why did you have that opinion?
Yeah.
What was it?
He was pretty adamant that
He was.
that motherfucker was going to be thrown back in jail.
What was? I mean, enough to bet on it. I mean, there was a huge bet, but it's just a point that that you had enough of that stance. So now let's look back at that. What was it that made you so convinced?
Yeah.
Right. That and it could have been the other way. Amy could have been 100% convinced that it was, and this guy could have gone out and fucking done something again. She would look like asshole. We'd all look like assholes.
Yeah.
But that's not how it happened. So
well, we someone who I was willing to give the benefit of the doubt to that's turned out to be quite the piece of shit is someone like George Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Who shot Trayvon Martin.
Yep.
I believe it was Trayvon, right? When he was
Trayvon,
12
exactly,
in Florida, and the Stand Your Ground law and all that. And he was found not guilty.
That was the example I was going to use with the vigilante justice shit the other day, and it's the name slipped my mind. But
Zimmerman?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Zimmerman has since been in other dust-ups and racial incidents, and you're just like, okay, dude, fucking no. I got to back away from
You're
this.
a piece of shit.
Yeah. Where it was like, hey, man, I understand if you've had, because I think at the time it was like 300 burglaries in his neighborhood, and the cops weren't even doing anything about it. And it's like, well, fucking A, I'm going to stand justice and for my neighborhood. I could understand that sentiment. If your neighborhood's constantly being robbed, nobody's doing anything, and then you see this kid, he's wearing a hoodie, he's fucking dressed in all black in the neighborhood, and blah, blah, blah. One thing leads to another. Trayvon Martin starts kicking his fucking teeth in, and the guy shoots him dead.
Right.
Horrible story.
Absolutely right.
So I could understand George Zimmerman's initial reaction to that, but since then it's like, no, dude, you that would be making the bet. I bet within a year he's in the news again for some fucked up reason. Yeah, and I would have bet at the time, no, he wouldn't. Why would he be?
Absolutely, yeah,
and I would have lost.
Exactly. Well, right.
So it doesn't mean
for him. Oh yeah. Well. No, and it doesn't mean you're always right. But again, it's not about being right or wrong. That has nothing to do with it. Yeah. It's about let's start having those conversations. Okay, as we keep having example after example after example of the narrative being wrong or being intentional.
Right.
Let's start, instead of just blindly following, let's start having those conversations. Let's start looking back, and it's not to fault yourself.
You know what I would say though?
It's not, you know what I mean? It's not about you. It's about what's really going on, and open your eyes to it.
I know we're using J. Chris Newberg as a catalyst for this discussion.
Yes. Love you, Chris.
J. Chris Newberg, as a man, is one of the few people that I know, period, that absolutely will take and have that discussion and take constructive criticism.
Yeah, right.
Like he will absolutely own it. And
will.
He will eat shit if he's wrong on something.
Yeah.
He's not
continual growth.
Yeah.
Evolve or die. That's what it's about. That's my whole point. Like I said, it's in no way, shape, or form attacking him or anything, or who was right, who was wrong. It's just an example to be able
it's a
to
great
make
example.
The point. Exactly. Just happened today was the 1 year anniversary, and it came up, and it was top of mind.
Well, what do you know? Zemple was right.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Right.
God bless her.
But yeah, that's just it. Like let's just everybody, the Russia, all this shit that just keeps piling up. Like stop, take a step back, take a deep breath, and really look. It's not an indictment of it's not an indictment of yourself. I think that's what a lot of people, especially people that dig their heels in and go hard in the paint, they can't admit to being wrong. Well, it's not that you were necessarily wrong. It's that you were lied to. You were manipulated.
Well, the journalists have no excuse.
No. I'm talking about the general. I'm talking about the general public.
I'm so embarrassed for the media. It's like, are you even trying to appear?
No, they're not.
Like. Do you really believe that?
Yeah.
Do you really honestly believe that?
It's funny that they're calling Taibbi the fucking doing PR for the world's richest man. Okay, well, how about you're doing PR for everything else?
Media outlets for big tech, for big pharma. You're fucking blowing.
That's what every journalist, these days is doing PR for the powers.
You're supposed to be literally raging against the machine, and you are the machine. It's embarrassing. It's sad. Yeah. It's I don't know what else to say. If they're just looking out for their jobs, and it's like, I'm going to make more money working at NBC than I will going out on my own and being an honest journalist.
Yep.
So fuck it. I'll just blow all the sponsors,
Integrity
all
is
the
gone.
government agencies. You have no integrity.
No, exactly.
And
It's gone.
It's shameful.
Bought and paid for.
It's shameful is what it is. And if you wrote in your thing doing PR for the world's richest man, I'm talking about you.
Directly.
You're a fucking embarrassment to your
Every
profession.
single
One of you. Across the board.
Clowns.
Richmond, Virginia restaurant canceled a dinner reservation made by a Christian organization. Why do you think that would be?
Gay owners.
Ooh, that's a good one. It's not gay owners.
Okay.
But that would have been good. Claiming they did so because the Alphabet LGBTQ plus members of their staff would feel uncomfortable and unsafe.
Okay, so I was close. Okay,
Yeah.
gay staff as
Yeah.
opposed to the owners, whatever.
Gayish
Yeah,
or
whatever. I mean, okay,
trans-ish
just sorry, I didn't go
staff.
alphabet, but that's,
Yeah.
that's a generic term, for happy.
How fucking sad are we now? You're worried and you feel unsafe because a Christian group went into your restaurant?
Wait, aren't
Wow.
aren't they the ones suing the bakeries over not making gay cakes?
Wait, yeah.
Whoa, pot meat kettle.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, you're telling me that that there's some sort of
Double standard, perhaps?
double standard? Yeah.
No.
Nah.
No, I mean it's just the hypocrisy is all
hilarious.
Right, exactly. If you can't be for that and against this, it just can't be that way.
No. The Family Foundation made dinner reservations at Metzger Bar and Butchery last Wednesday night, roughly 90 minutes before the 7 p.m. restaurant reservation for a dessert event with 15 to 20 people. The foundation's vice president of operations received a call from the restaurant notifying them their reservation had been canceled. One of the owners called our team to cancel the event. President Victoria Cobb wrote, on Thursday night, the restaurant posted a statement on Instagram. Metzger Bar and Butchery has always prided itself. Okay, I see
what you did there.
Yeah. Prided itself on being an inclusive environment for people to dine in.
What were they going to beat the shit out of your alphabet staff? And
Yeah, they were
not
gonna
tip
come
them. I'm sorry. Do you swallow? No. Okay, fuck up.
Yeah. So your opening statement is that you pride yourself on being an inclusive environment for people to dine in, and you're going to continue this
It's that hypocrisy again.
statement here.
Yeah. Well, we're inclusive. They're not.
Right.
Pot meat kettle. Hello.
Hilarious. Just because they don't believe in your lifestyle, man. Sorry, not everyone's going to believe in your lifestyle. Get over it.
I know. It's amazing.
Honestly like.
And these people, hey, next time make the reservation under, it's not going to lick itself. And, you'll be fine. Or make it at the Cracker Barrel. Whatever. You'll be good to go.
Make it at Chick-fil-A. You'll be fine.
It's not on a Sunday.
In 8 years of service, we have very rarely refused service to anyone who wished to dine with us. Recently, we refused service to a group that had booked an event with us after the owners of Metzger found out it was a group of donors to a political organization that seeks to deprive women and LGBTQ plus persons of their basic human rights in Virginia. Okay, what exactly? I know you like to just say that. So what exactly are the basic human rights that women are denied? I'd like to know what the right is that women do not have. I'd like to know what the rights are that the gay community does not have.
Oh, I know. But same rights that guns have that women don't have.
Right.
Things like that.
Right.
It's just a tagline.
I suppose if you think it's a basic human right to fucking have an abortion, I suppose that is what they're trying to shoehorn this into.
Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't say that.
Yeah.
It would have helped if
Yeah.
they said, their stance on abortion means fuck all of them.
You know what? Actually, they're right. Guns do have more rights than women.
They do?
Yeah, a gun can kill a baby.
Great point. Great point, T. We have always refused service to anyone for making our staff uncomfortable or unsafe, and this was the driving force behind our decision. Many of our staff are women and or members of the alphabet community. All of our staff are people with rights who deserve dignity and a safe work environment. We respect our staff's established rights as humans and strive to create a work environment where they can do their jobs with dignity, comfort, and safety.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I'd love to know what you thought this Christian church group was going to do.
Yeah.
when they came in for dessert, party of 20 in your restaurant? Were they all going to smear their desserts in the gay fucking
and why were they so
transgendered
threatened or to not be comfortable? If the group was comfortable enough to go to a restaurant and be served by the alphabet community, why would the alphabet community be comfortable enough to serve them?
It's just a way of wielding
We
power.
don't want your dirty Christian money.
Yeah, well, it's just the boogeyman argument.
I know.
You know, it's a non-argument. I mean, unless you can show me proof, like, you know what? There's been a rash in this country of 15 to 20 large Christian church groups going into a restaurant and just kicking the shit out of the first alphabet community person they see.
Yeah.
And you go, you know what? Well, you know what? To be fair, remember in Oakland, that story we did a couple weeks ago where that church group went in and just started fucking gay bashing everybody?
Yeah.
Like, I'd love to see that story because I'd be on your team. Like, you know what?
Sure, yeah.
Until you fucking
err on the side of caution for that.
Until you church people get your shit together and get yourself back in line, you're not allowed where regular people go to dine.
Keep it at Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby.
Exactly.
Other than that, no, we're not having it.
You can have picnics in your church parking lot until you get your
Fridays
shit together.
Anymore.
Yeah, you think you're coming to Metzger's for dessert? Fucking think again, folks. The Cobb stated, so Victoria Cobb, president of the Family Foundation, stated in her blog post, "Welcome to the 21st century, where people who likely consider themselves progressives attempt to recreate an environment from the 50s and 60s when people were denied food service due to their race. Thankfully, in 1960, 34 brave Virginia Union University students held a peaceful lunch counter sit-in at Thalamer's department store in Richmond to demand service at a whites-only counter. They were convicted of trespassing, but after a tremendous legal battle, were vindicated by the Supreme Court. Welcome to the double standard of the left, where some believe Jack Phillips must be forced to create a wedding cake as part of the celebration of the same-sex ceremony, but any business should be able to deny basic goods and services to those who hold biblical values around marriage."
I'm not saying there's right or wrong. I'm just saying that you can't believe one without the other.
No.
It's just the hypocrisy. That's it.
Yeah. It's a way to, act as crazy as you want, as ludicrous as you want, as long as, it's really why I'm taking issue with the Asians these days. I've really got.
Oh, what'd they do?
Yeah, I'm kind of pissy with the Asians because
the drive-in.
Huh?
Is it the drive-in or the flu? What are they doing?
No. None of
that.
It's my problem is
all the good math.
No.
Oh.
The Asians have historically been abused, right? When they first landed here, that's why there's so many in San Francisco. They got here from that side of the world, landed there, and they were fucked with just like any group that has come to this country. I don't care if it's the Polacks, the Germans, the fucking name the group, the Italians. They've all been shit on.
They were enslaved on some levels.
Yes, some would say.
Some would say,
so
but
there's always been that they deal with, on some level, like, yeah, you ain't look like me or sound like me, get the fuck out of my country. That kind of attitude. And the Asian community was no different. The Asian community put their head down, went to fucking work, made better lives for themselves and everyone in their families. Now, does that mean that there's not such thing as a homeless Asian guy? Of course not. But by and large, they've kicked fucking ass.
Did they pick themselves up by the bootstraps?
They did. Woo! On some level, because education's very important, family is very important in their culture.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. They've been a driving force. And now
work ethic.
The cheap, easy fucking way out is to just go, well, I can just hop on this victim train. The victim train's awesome. I don't care what group you're in, what marginalized group you're in, whether you're marginalized or not. Just say it, and you're the victim. And seeing the goddamn fucking Asian community jumping into this shit now really bothers me because they've done it. They won.
Yeah.
They won the fucking
lottery. Yes,
they totally did.
Well, tell that to the New York subway.
Well, yeah, I know what you're saying there, but it just bothers me.
Hey, you know what? White people get knocked the fuck out on the subway too.
You're goddamn right we do.
That's an equal opportunity fucking cesspool.
Yes. We are going to have fun in members content this week.
Oh, good.
I got some fucking stories we haven't gotten to.
All right, can't wait.
We're running out of time, and I'm starving. I haven't eaten yet today.
Okay.
Not a goddamn thing.
That's a you problem.
I know. I'm doing it. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Intermittent fasting is not all day.
Yeah, I know, but I get to that point.
So this will
do I eat now or
technically
do I wait?
this will be breakfast for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going out to eat.
Eat one meal a day.
We're going out
breakfast.
to eat after the show, and that'll be my breakfast.
All right.
You are. Put some fucking jeans on. Be a man.
I got to wear pants?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yep.
People
All right.
don't know. I never wear pants. I'm naked under here.
I
Winnie the Pooh in it every
Yeah,
day.
Every day is Winnie the Pooh in it. And unlike Winnie the Pooh, you can actually see his fucking twig and bananas. Let's see. Hey, fellas, this is in regards to the mac and cheese lawsuit you mentioned recently.
Oh, yeah. Oof, boy.
So what was the lawsuit was how long it takes to make?
Yes, exactly. It was a 3.5 minute microwavable.
It had to be
cup.
the cup one.
Yes, it was. And
Yeah.
said 3. But hey, this came about last night.
Yeah.
Very same thing. We thought about jumping on board with this.
Making it a class action.
Which should now be a class action suit,
Yeah.
no doubt. Because I made a lovely batch of Velveeta shells and cheese with some hot dogs in there.
It's delicious, too.
Right on the package, right? So you had so generously started the water to boil.
Thank you.
I was occupied doing some other things. Put a pot on the stove with water, make it boil. I came down a few minutes later, started getting everything else ready. Looking at the box, it says ready in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I looked over, the water wasn't boiling yet.
Yeah.
I looked at Mike, I said, hey, how long ago was it when you put this water on?
Which I thought was such a weird question.
Yeah.
I was like,
he was like, I don't know, like 5-6 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I go, well, it's not even boiling yet, and this says it's ready in 10 minutes. There's no way we're gonna make it.
Aren't they gonna? Isn't there gonna be? I don't know what kind of shit stove you have, boys.
No.
But why is your water not boiling after 6 minutes?
Regardless, it doesn't matter. It
There
takes,
was
it
no
takes-
way
It
that
takes
was gonna
10
be done in
minutes to
10.
cook the noodles. So you
Even
have
if-
to start with boiling water,
Yes.
and then the process starts, which is fine, and
Which
I get
wouldn't
that.
have. We wouldn't have had it in 10 minutes anyways.
No, which is ironic because I get it. But the fact says it takes 10 minutes, ready in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, who has boiling water on hand? Because no matter what, you can't instantly have boiling water. Whether you microwave it for a couple of minutes, whether you let the tap run for a couple of minutes,
Yeah.
to get hot enough to get close to a boil before you put it on
I've
there.
done all those things.
All options.
Yeah.
But the noodles have to cook for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It
Minimum.
says right on there, 10 minutes to cook.
Yeah.
And then I think it says 8 to 10 minutes. I'll double check that part. But the label clearly says
There's no fucking
ready
way
in
it's
10
ready.
minutes. And then you still have to stir in the cheese packet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit.
So this is in regards to the mac and cheese lawsuit you mentioned. The way these lawsuits work is some shady lawyer finds a consumer to sue the company for frivolous items.
Yep.
I knew a lady that was approached by a law firm for multiple lawsuits. One of them was when she sued Ben & Jerry's because they used alkalized cocoa in their all-natural ice cream. The lawyer in question in this macaroni case also has some other lawsuits, such as a lawsuit against Frito-Lay for not using enough real lime juice in its hint of lime Tostitos.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. And it's funny because there's a guy, I want to find the documentary on that we've talked about a couple of times, and I can't actually put it together. But there's an attorney that is just one main guy that has made a living on this for selling them all,
Where they just pay him off to fuck off.
basically, yeah.
The same lawyer, a lawsuit against Snack Pack Pudding for saying it is made with real milk when it is actually made with fat-free skim milk.
Mm-hmm.
A lawsuit against Pop-Tarts for misrepresenting the amount of fruit in strawberry Pop-Tarts. Some may think he's fighting for the consumer, but that can probably be debated. Oh, and he's a Jew.
Okay.
I don't pre-read these.
Nope.
Cheers.
I want to.
I bet if there's a hyperlink here. I bet if you click on that T, it'll tell you what that documentary is.
Well, I can't click on your piece of paper.
No, but I can give it to you, and we can pull up the fucking email
Yeah,
later.
that's fine.
If I don't hand it to you now, it's gone. I'll never remember it.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. Hey, Troy.
Uh-oh.
This is in regard to Ohio trans bathrooms. Troy, you make a valid point about not excluding anyone, and one person being excluded is too many. However, in my opinion, the Ohio bathroom issue isn't about inclusion. It is about forcing an agenda, which is why they push these types of rules through secretly. They know it would never fly by. It would never fly by going through the proper channels. With love, Bone Job. P.S. I'm sorry to hear about your friend Ash. I hope when my time comes, gross, I have affected as many lives as she has. May she rest easy. And that's
Right on.
Thank you for that, Connor.
Yes, sir.
We should mention, I believe the GoFundMe is still going for Ash Mathis.
It should be, yeah. I mean, well, yeah, you don't shut that thing down, at least not yet.
I
But
saw a bunch of names on there I recognized. I thank you. I was hoping to get more. I understand it's the holiday season. I get it. But really sad story with an OG listener, been with us since day one, and she was great.
yeah, absolutely. And thank you for everybody that took the time
donate.
and supported,
Yep.
shared it, anything that you could do.
Whether you did it anonymously or
Yep.
put your name out there, it's all good. And if you want to check it out, GoFundMe.com. If you can help out for the family, it's greatly appreciated.
Yep.
Just search Ash Mathis, ASHMATHIS.
Just a brief update. They have actually hit the goal. Now,
Okay.
that does not mean it's done.
They people usually set a modest goal.
Yes,
that's
exactly
hittable.
right. Exactly right. But my point is that thank you that it's done. It's done well.
Yeah.
It can do better. It can,
Yep.
whatever is what it is. But it's definitely been out there. And thank you for everybody that did
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
It's
Doing what you can.
That little
Choked up there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I pulled it up, saw the picture. It's
Yeah.
fucking tough, man.
Yeah, I know. It sure is, but there's a lot of great supportive listeners that support each other whenever someone's going through something,
Yeah.
or God forbid, this unfortunately is not the first time we've lost a listener. I've been to funerals.
Yeah.
It's always tough, and you know, people just by giving $20,
Yeah,
even
that's not even money. It's fine. I don't think we talked about it, but I've had a couple. I'm sure you have too, and whatever. I had some people reach out to me, about it, and we had a good conversation.
Yeah.
So like, hey man, if you ever need anything, I'm there.
Yeah.
So, same thing too.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's more the point. It wasn't the point specifically, raising money for this. It's
Right.
it's raising awareness for everybody else.
Yeah.
Be there. Be present for people.
Yeah. Well, I've often said, like, I'm self-absorbed enough to think like my problems are unique to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out really quick from people who have had much rougher goes, much closer calls to real tragedy,
Sure.
personally speaking,
Yep.
than me. And you go, wow, there's a lot of people out there that have very, very troubling stories, backgrounds, and we see you, we hear you, we appreciate the emails, and we're always there. If someone needs to reach out to us, you can always send an email. You wouldn't believe the amount of support you would have from this listenership.
Oh, absolutely.
You just wouldn't believe it.
No question.
Walters at DetroitCast.com. Send your emails about anything, but especially if you're in one of those places, And with that, we'll call it a day there, and we'll be back. We got one more show this week.
We sure do.
We'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully you'll all join us then.